Oh,
Hi everyone, welcome back to Diversify the Verse, and this is going to be our September discussion for the They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Let's say hi to Alex.
hey guys. I know I look crazy right now. I literally just came home, but I'm so excited to talk to you guys. I just finished. So I was on the bus, like a 2-hour commute, and I just finished this book. So, yeah, fresh thoughts. Okay.
And I finished it like 2 weeks ago, so we'll see how I do at remembering. And
You're pretty good though.
what?
You always remember stuff.
I'm so bad at it. I have a French test coming up on a book, and I'm like gonna fail it because I don't remember what I read.
Okay, if you're bad at remembering stuff, then I just suck, honestly.
So do you want to just talk about our non-spoilery thoughts about this book?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess I'll go first. I finished this like 2 weeks ago, so it's been a little while. I really liked it as my first Adam Silvera book. It sadly wasn't like, a love, like this is my new obsession thing, but I did enjoy it, and I think there are so many things you can discuss in this book, and I love, the diversity aspect. We chose this book for Hispanic Heritage Month, which is started, I think, September 15th and goes through like mid-October. And so Adam Silvera has Puerto Rican heritage, and that's why we chose it. And the characters also have like Hispanic heritage, which is really great. I mean, it's not really a big part of the book, other than that, it's just their identity.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also LGBT. Mateo and what's his name, Rufus, have a little romance. It's like a slow burning.
Oh, yeah.
A slow burning romance that takes place in one day. And I don't know, I enjoyed it. I think like taking place in one day, and how like the author kind of can have a book that takes place all in one day and keep it still being interesting, and everything still being kind of like new, and stuff is still happening, which is really interesting. And also there's a lot of like coming of age stuff in this book, which I really liked too. I don't know. I'm just kind of like rambling. Why don't you say some stuff?
No, I agree. I mean, I just finished it, so like, I posted on Instagram, like, I was crying in the subway because something happens. It's non-spoilery, but something happens, and it's just like kind of out of nowhere. At least for me, it was. So I just started like tearing up. I'm like, oh shit, this is actually happening. But yeah, I agree with Belinda, as in like I didn't like love the book, but I like really enjoyed it. I think it's something that, especially for like today's live show, is a really good thing to talk about. And I feel like even like after everyone reads this, like, you just have to like let it out. You have to talk about it. And yeah, I like really enjoyed it. Like Belinda said, I really liked. It was really interesting. Like, it never bored me. And I think that was because of the characters. He introduced a lot of characters, and you're probably like, oh no, I don't like a lot of characters. But it's actually like not. You're not like super attached. Like, there's definitely 2 main characters, but there's a lot of characters that are introduced that play a role into the story. So I like that.
It kind of reminds me of The Sun is Also a Star, which also takes place in one day. And it kind of has that same, I don't know, feel to it a little bit, even though I think The Sun is the Sun also a star in first person point of view? I don't remember.
I don't remember. I
But
didn't know that.
those like extra perspectives, which we'll talk about later, but it has those like extra perspectives. And it's kind of like, how your life connects with the people around you, even complete strangers, how your life, which is also like in this book, I guess, which is kind of like why I got the same kind of vibe, which was great. If you haven't read The Sun is Also a Star, that is like a fantastic book that I really recommend. What else do I have to say about this book? I really like the cover.
Oh my god, yeah. And oh my god, the title, it's just so intriguing. Like, I don't think you'll ever find a better book title than this one. So intriguing.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. I guess this was my first Adam Silvera book, and I wasn't disappointed, which is good. There's definitely like a lot of hype over Adam Silvera's books. There's a huge like fan base. A lot of people love them, so I am glad that I at least enjoyed this book. What did you think of that? Since this was my first book too, right?
Yeah, this is my first Adam Silvera book, and I know, like, I've heard a lot of people when I told them I'd be reading this, they're like, oh, it's not going to make you cry as much as More Happy Than Not. I think that was the one they said. So I'm very excited to see what else he has. I just think his writing is so good. Like, to me so much. I don't know what about it. Like I can't really style is so good. I really like kept flipping pages. Like that's why I was able to finish this book in like 2 hours straight when I had like 200 pages left.
Yeah, it's a really fast read, and I think it's because the chapters are kind of short. So it just like feels like you're getting through a lot of the stuff, like, which was really nice because I was on like deadline to read other stuff. Yeah, I really like his writing. I feel like he has a really distinct and honest voice for all his characters. Like Rufus.
Really?
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like every person in this book that we get to see from their point of view, they kind of have a distinct voice, and their characters are all like really strong characters. Even if we don't get to see them that much, there's that complexity and like nuance to them that kind of makes you want to know a little more.
Yeah, I know, right?
Those Deathcast people, that dumb Andrea that I just want her to get fired or something. I hate that lady.
Oh yeah, and then like I think there's a character introduced named Victor. His name is Victor, right?
Yeah, I remember someone named Victor.
Yeah, and then when his part was introduced, I was just like, holy crap! I hope he plays a big role because he talked about like some of his background, like what happened leading up to why he was doing that, and oh my god, I loved how each chapter was started for all these characters. Like the Deathcast did not call this person, but whatever, and it was like so interesting. Like it wasn't repetitive at all and annoying. I just love that part. That was like the best part.
Okay. Do you think we should announce our next book then? Do you have any other non-spoilery thoughts that you want to add? I don't know if I have anything else. I feel like it was too long ago that I read this. It's like 2 weeks.
Yeah. But like
I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. If you're looking for a great diverse read that is really interesting, you can discuss a lot of things. I definitely would recommend this book. Alex, do you have anything?
I feel like if this is like a great place. I mean, I haven't read Adam's other books, but like if you're new to Adam as well, I feel like this is a great place to start. Like it wasn't anything like. It wasn't anything like, oh, like super special, but it was like a really good read, and it was just really enjoyable and a good conversation starter, which I think all his books are. But I especially really like out of all the synopsises of his books, I feel like this one to me was like, yes, I want to read that book. So
yeah, good. So now we're gonna announce our next book, and this book doesn't come out yet. Oh, Alex, why don't you announce it? I always announce books.
Oh, sure. Okay. Well, this book, I actually read it already, but I'm going to reread it because it was so freaking good. It was, like, so good. And I was originally so excited about this one because it is a book that follows an Asian main character. And I love books, just reading about your own, like heritage and background. So, yeah, our next book is going to be, are you ready? Yay! Forest of a Thousand Lanterns. We're both holding ARCs, and we were able to get a hold of them. But this one doesn't come out till... When does this come out?
Doesn't it come out on Tuesday?
Oh, really? October what? 15th?
10th?
10th. Oh, yeah. October 10th. So it's going to be a while, but I think we're going to start reading on October 10th. You want to do that?
I have some other stuff going on, so yeah. I'm going to read that stuff first, and then I'll... Okay. So you already read it, so you can, help with discussions and stuff. But I think
discussion questions.
Maybe... We'll put up the schedule on Instagram so you can see it, but I'm really excited about this book. I know the author is Vietnamese American, which is really great because, Southeast Asia represents, and also it is kind of, isn't it like a fairy tale retelling, kind of?
I don't know what it's based off of. It's supposed to be an evil queen retelling, but let me tell you guys, like, if you loved, what's it called? That Marie Lu book where everyone's talking about, like, a villainous character. What is that?
The Young Elites?
Yeah. So, like, I've heard a lot of the main character be compared to this. So she's basically kind of like a villain that you love to hate, something like that, which I really loved. She's kind of evil, but then she has that kind of redeeming side that you're just like, oh, I love her so much. But yeah, that's what this book is like so freaking good. And look at the cover. Oh my God. I'm going to get like a hard copy. It's so good. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this. And our recs are going to be diverse fantasy books. So if you're interested in, I mean, if you're not reading with us, that's fine. But if you're interested in seeing diverse recs, you should definitely follow us on Instagram because we're going to be posting hopefully a lot more this month. And yeah, I already have pictures set up, so we're set for that.
Good. Yeah, so I'm excited for this book. I normally don't really like look into books that I'm gonna read much. I just kind of like to jump into it, not really knowing anything. But yeah, I'm excited about this. It's also, I think, doesn't it kind of incorporate some East Asian mythology and kind of stuff like that? Yeah. So that should be really interesting. Yeah. So this is gonna be our next book. Okay. Yeah. So do we want to go on to our discussion now?
Sure, let's go.
Okay. We have a lot of questions to discuss. Here's the book. I gotta put. Okay. Let me go find the first question.
Oh, do you want me to? I got it right open.
You have it? Okay.
Okay, so would you want to be, oh my God, these questions are so good. Okay, would you want to be notified by Deathcast on the day you're going to die? So I guess I'll go first since I asked it. When I was reading this book, the one thing that I felt was, I felt terrified. Like, no, I think I would want to know how I died, but I wouldn't want to know when I died. And especially, like, wouldn't it be better in a situation to know, like, in the future, like if I'm sitting here now, I would like to know like if I'm dying in 50 years or if I'm dying in 10 years, but being notified on the day you're going to die is terrifying. So no, I would not want to know. What about you, Belinda?
I don't want to know at all. I don't want to know when I die, how I die. I don't want to know because I'm a person, I feel like that I overthink everything. So if I knew I was going to die, I would just kind of like overthink my life and be like, oh, what have I accomplished? What have I not have the chance to say, like the things that I haven't had the chance to say, like the books I haven't finished writing, the music I haven't finished playing and composing and things like that. And I feel like that would just kind of make me really depressed and sad. And I just rather, not go, like not know. I'd rather just, die randomly. And I'm like, fine, even if it's, and then I don't have to worry about it at all. Because I just feel like I would get just really worried about it and really worked up, and I don't want that to, I guess, to experience that. I mean, like it's like the one day you have at the most once they call you, so you're it's gonna end, and you're not gonna be worrying about it more than 24 hours. But still, I wouldn't want that. I feel like I would just kind of want to live my life. Normally, like, even if it was just like, if I died, I'm just like, I guess, part of it is like, they tell you when you're going to die so you can live out your last day.
Wait, like, they tell you? I thought they don't tell you because it says when they call you, they're like, I regret to inform you that sometime in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, they don't tell you how you're going to die, but they tell you like that day so that you can, do all the things that you've wanted to do. And like, you can say goodbye to the people you want to say goodbye to. And I guess, for me, like, if you didn't call me, I'd probably just, like, spend the day going to school or something. And I'm like, fine, because when I'm dead. Now I can't regret anything, and I can't, well, I mean, who knows what happens after you die. But, like, I feel like I wouldn't have to, like, worry about all this stuff that I would be worried about if I knew I was going to die.
Yeah, I mean, so it's really hard because, like, especially in this book, the whole thing with Deathcast was that, oh, and I just realized, by the way, that Deathcast is supposed to be like forecast, but like Deathcast, like forecast of death. You see?
Oh. Yeah, it's funny.
But like, it's scary how they tell you like at 12 a.m. when the day begins, and then that entire day you don't know what time you're gonna die. So it's like, you're going to be spending your entire day in paranoia, even though like you're living it out. Like, that's just what scares me. So
yeah, I just would not want to know. Like, don't call me. I'd probably, if I lived in this world, maybe I wouldn't even have a cell phone. I'd just be like, don't contact me ever. I'll die when I die and be happy with it.
Like, I think the appeal with Deathcast is like, I'm gonna say DC. I hate this. With the appeal with like DC is that, like, of course, when you know when you're gonna die, you get to spend that last day doing a bunch of things. Having closure as like compared to like if you don't know when you're gonna die, you're not gonna know, and you're gonna be spending your day maybe doing something that you could have you would have been doing. But yeah, I think that's the appeal basically. That's all. There's no other appeal.
But I mean, I guess, but is that like, right?
Is it like what? Like right to know?
Yeah, is it like, I guess, is it right to be able to know and to be able to, I guess, there are cons of, knowing this is your last day and you can kind of have that closure and stuff. But, is that really like the right thing? I mean, it kind of feels like the right thing because you get, closure and you can, experience what you haven't been able to and stuff like that. But I don't know. I'm hesitant to accept that. I guess because I don't want Deathcast to ever call me, even if I am going to die.
Yeah, and what was scary in this book, especially, I think they put an emphasis on this book, was that not only just us being notified about dying, but these people's families and these, like, oh my god, like, it was so sad reading about, like, how, like, the main character's friends and their family, how they received notifications from Deathcast, and it was just, like, just reacting to that, like, just imagining what it would be like if, like, one of my parents or, like, siblings got called by Deathcast, like, that kind of stuff. Like, that's why I think this book talks a lot about, like, I mean, something that's very, like, let's not talk about it, like death, which I really, really liked.
Okay. So should we move on to the next question?
Sure.
Okay, let's see. How are Mateo and Rufus's reactions to Deathcast and perspectives on life similar and different? Oh gosh, I asked so many hard questions. How are they? I mean, I guess at the beginning they're both shocked, and there's that part of denial where they're like, "No, this is not happening. This is not true." But I don't know. I guess, and then going on to what's different. I don't know. I guess when they get there, they react a little differently. Like Mateo kind of shuts himself in the house for, however many hours after he first finds out, and Rufus is kind of like, he's being a peck one, and then he like goes home. But I guess like Mateo doesn't really have anybody at home right now since his dad is in the hospital, and his friend doesn't live with them. I don't know. I guess, and then their perspectives on life. Well, let's do reactions. You do reactions, and then we'll talk about perspective on life.
Oh, reactions was, okay, well, definitely, Mateo's reaction was, yeah, he was definitely in denial, and I, oh my god, when that lady called with the wrong name, like, why would you do that?
I hate her, that girl, Andrea, like, I am tempted to, like, give her a false call and tell her that, someone that she's either she's dying or someone important to her is dying, so she just, like, have a heart. Because, you've seen her one perspective where she's like, oh, darn, I didn't call as many people as I did before. This is my record. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, all you care about is to call as many people as you can. These are people's lives. You don't even get their name right.
Yeah, I know. No, at that point, she kind of shocked Mateo. Like, Mateo's like, oh, yes, it's not me. And she said it's the wrong call. But then all of a sudden, she's like, oh, no, I got it wrong. And then all of a sudden, he's back to that, like, in that shock of moment where he's in denial and he doesn't want to kind of face it, he's dying. And I think compared to him and Rufus's reaction, I think he's a lot more shocked and a lot more scared, whereas Rufus, he's kind of like, I wouldn't say accepted it, but he's like, oh well, like, what are you gonna do, right? Like, he's not like helping, like, so yeah, basically. And you want to talk about perspectives? I think that's interesting.
Perspective on, like, life.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, like, yeah, Mateo's perspective is, what would you say? Like, he doesn't.
I don't know. I guess he's that whole thing where he doesn't want to leave his home. He's very, like, afraid of what people will how people will see him. And okay, this is why I don't really like Mateo. He annoys me so much. I'm just like, Mateo, you're gonna die anyways. You do not need to climb the steps super, super slowly. And, like, just kind of, like, things like that. And he just, like, really annoyed me. Like, but his, like, I guess his perspective on life, he's just kind of afraid to put himself out there, and it was the same in the question I was like asked, like what I was trying to get at. And I guess he's wants to put himself out there, but he just like doesn't, and he like can't, and there's something like kind of stopping him. And I don't know, I feel like he lives a pretty sheltered life, partly because of his own doing, and I don't know. This is a hard question. Gosh, I was talking with my friend. My friend read it with me, and so we were like just get together and we were discussing. I'm like, and he was asking me all these hard questions. I'm like, I don't know how to respond to this or my own questions. Okay, that was a kind of a tangent, but like Rufus's perspective on life. Well, okay, you can kind of answer this one. But like Rufus's family had died months before, and he has just kind of gone to a really dark place. So at this point, when we first meet him, he doesn't care so much for his life. Like he's being a peck. He's kind of like that angry kid. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he's a bit of opposite of Mateo, in which like Mateo is like really afraid of what's gonna happen with this, and then Rufus is more kind of like go with the flow and like put himself out there. I don't know. I feel like that was a terrible answer. Maybe you have a better one.
No, I think that's right, and I think a huge thing about this book was that Mateo and Rufus represented two types of people and how they would, in their reactions and perspectives, like you see Mateo is I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, you see Mateo who's kind of like I feel like I would be like Mateo in that situation. If I got called, I would be in such shock that I wouldn't even be able to believe. Like I would just spend my entire day at home crying. Like not even because I was afraid to like be killed out there, but just because I'm just so sad. Like he definitely a huge thing with him was that he didn't feel like he lived up to his potential. He felt like he didn't do a lot of things that he could have done, experienced a lot of things. Whereas you have Rufus, who, like you said, the death of his parents and his sister, it's like he's kind of like at that point where he's accepted it, and he wants to just spend that day living out his life, living out his one last day, doing the things he hasn't done yet. So that's definitely two types of people. Yeah.
Yeah. What did you like better? I guess that you were talking about like how you would react. Yeah. Is that one of our questions? Like how would we react?
I think so.
Now, how would you spend your end day? No, we didn't even ask about that. How would you react if you got your call? So you said you would like Mateo, you think?
Oh my god, yes, stop, it's making me so scared. Like I would actually just sit in my room and just cry. Like I would be like why is this happening to me? Like I would just be questioning so many things, Like a lot of people just accept it, but I would be like, no, why is this happening to me? Like I literally haven't done, especially since like at the age that they got called, like they're so young.
Yeah.
I think anyone at that age would question why this is happening.
Yeah.
And like
I feel you go.
And like how the hell do they know? What is this?
Yeah, okay, so I have something about that. I'm gonna talk about my reaction first though. I feel like the same. I'd probably but if I did happen to have a cell phone and couldn't get rid of it, and Deathcast like somehow got a hold of me, I'd probably be really sad. I mean, there are a lot of things that I want to do in my life, and a lot of things that I haven't. I guess this is why I don't want to know. It's because there's a lot of things that I haven't done, and a lot of things that I haven't had a chance to say. Like I love writing, and I really hope that one day I am able to share my writing with the world. And like with music, like I really want to share my music with the world, and I want to compose stuff that I haven't done yet. So I guess it's a bit of like a lost opportunity, and I don't know, it's like the loss of your future. Like you've been working so hard to get to where you are right now, and then it's just like, so that would make me depressed. But the part where I think, I don't know what I do. I don't do anything. That's the thing. I'd probably just like spend the day reading and writing all I can before it's up. And then I'd like die at my computer or something like that. Eat or something, or like get a huge paper cut or something like that. It would probably be like something dumb. And I I don't know. Like, I don't really do anything, but I feel like, you know, I guess in this world you have that place where you can go and you can like visit around the world. That's probably what I would do. I'd probably like go out, but that is kind of our question that we have later on. But I think, yeah, I guess, you know, what really annoys me is that, you know, they're so afraid at the beginning. At least Mateo is just like so afraid. Like he won't even go down the stairs. He's like going like super, super slow and like crawling up the stairs. Like it's gonna kill him, and you know maybe it could kill him. But I'm just like, I'm gonna go down the stairs. I guess I'm gonna die anyways. I guess that's kind of my thing. I'm like, I'm gonna die anyways. I'm just gonna live this day, however, feel like it, whatever, and eventually I'm gonna be dead. So it doesn't really matter.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
really? I really do not like. I know 100% right now. Like, my God, it'd be crazy. All right.
Say the whole like what death. How does Deathcast like know this? I feel like this is a book. We should have a revolution in this book. Like I feel like we should have had a rebellion and gone against Deathcast and like taken them down. It just like felt like that kind of a book at the beginning. Yeah, and then, you know, of course that's not the point of the book and that's not the plot, but I feel like we should have like a rebellion because like how does Deathcast even know? Like are they like how do they know that you're gonna die? Because it's like, do they have this, are they the cause of your death? Are like where did they get this information from? And
like what's funny,
the people like, you know, Deathcast works at the hospital, and if someone's gonna die, they like pull out life support. But then it's like, doesn't that almost like ensure that they're gonna die? Because you already pulled out their life support, so now they don't have any life support. Now for sure they're gonna die. Like I would lead a rebellion against Deathcast.
Oh my gosh. No, yeah, but like what's funny is that these people don't even question it. Like they're just like, okay, accept phone call, I'm gonna die. Like what? I think there was one character who kind of questioned it or kind of asked that question.
She was like, no, this is a prank from my ex.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that okay, we gotta talk about that later in the end, but like we didn't receive closure for that, so I was very confused. Hey, you know what that means? Book 2.
But she's supposed to die that day. I don't think we can squeeze in another book.
That was also really sad to kind of read. Not gonna lie, yeah. That was sad. Okay. Third question? Linda?
What?
Oh, third question?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Okay. I love this. Okay, fill out your last friend profile, interests, movies, TV show, books. Should we just say which, or should I look at the format in the book?
Page is it on? I like how this.
It's on page 45.
45. Okay.
Okay, this is gonna get really personal. Okay.
Just say a couple things for each, so we don't be here for forever.
Okay.
I started this with my my friend. We were answering this question, and I think that was like what we left off on, because there's just like so much talking about it, and then we kind of like went off on tangents. But
okay.
You go first.
I guess I'll say height. I'm 5'4".
Well, no, you don't have to like answer all those. Just answer the last 5, unless you want.
Oh, who the hell? Where the hell's last 5? Oh, the ones that you talked. The ones you said. Okay.
Yeah.
Interest.
Those get really personal. So
yeah.
This is the internet. I'm sorry, people. I don't want to share my entire life with you.
Yeah, that's fine. Interests include like reading, Netflixing, like what else? Like taking hikes, I guess. I really don't have any interests, honestly. Fave movies, Life of Pi, that's a big one, and Jurassic World, that was so good. Books, my favorite book at this moment I can think of is Noteworthy by Riley Redgate. That one is so good. Who you were in life. That's like the hardest question ever. But I just want to say someone who wanted to be remembered. Like that's what I just want to say. Like who you were. Someone who strived to be remembered. There we go. Bucket list. I really want to go to Hawaii. That's like one thing that has never been checked off, but I want to go. I want to leave the country. Well, not like leave, but just like see what's outside. And final thoughts. I have no final thoughts. I'm not gonna say because I'm not dying, but like you know. Okay.
But what would your final thoughts be?
Fine. My final thoughts is probably like begging, like don't let me die or something like that. That honestly. Or like I need a friend, like I need someone to talk to. But okay, go ahead.
So interests would be, I guess, Instagram and writing and reading and painting and a billion other things that I do, piano. Favorite movies, How to Train Your Dragon is like my favorite movie, and Wonder Woman, of course. Favorite TV shows, I don't really watch TV, but like the only show I watch is The Flash and Arrow, except for the last season. I haven't seen it yet. Or at least like all of it yet. Favorite books, my all-time favorite is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and if you haven't read it, you should read it because it's like the best thing ever. Who you were in life. This is like the hardest question there. I don't know, who was I guess I'm a daughter, and I'm a friend and a sister and a reader and an activist and an artist, I guess. Bucket list. I want to finish writing my book.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
And of course, you know, like I want to see the world. I really want to go to South America right now and go to like Senegal. One of my friends went to Senegal this summer to visit family, and it just sounds like she had the best time. So I want to go there and yeah, see the world, finish my book, write my other book. Final thoughts. I don't really have any final thoughts because I'm like, you're dead.
Oh my god.
I'm dead. Bye. See ya. See you later. See you on the other side.
Oh my god. Yeah, like, oh, also another thing to add on my bucket list, which I'm so stupid that I didn't think of it, go to college. Like, I really, really just want, yeah, at least spend freshman year, you know, you can, fine, I'll die, I'll die after freshman year, but I want to experience it, so, yeah.
Alex and I might be going to college by each other. I'm excited.
Oh my god, no, we're talking about that later, after, okay? Shh. Okay.
Okay. Then we can have like in-person discussions.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So next question is, what do you think of the additional points of view other than our two main characters? How do you think they add to the story? So all of these questions. Oh, sorry, Alex. You're like looking at Alex during this. All these questions are in our description below if you want to reference them.
Yeah.
And they're also from our Instagram. So what do you think of the other person's point of views? I really like them. I thought it was interesting. I was saying how this book kind of reminds me of The Sun Is Also a Star, and how, you know, it's a book about living life, you know, living each stage to the fullest. This book's definitely about that, and that book does, you know, kind of have that theme. But also, you know, like how everyone relates to each other, like these other point of views that we get. You know, sometimes we'll see snippets of our other characters, like, oh, there's a person like on the subway, and she talked about like seeing these two boys pass by or whatever, or bicycling or something like that. And I guess it's, you know, it makes you think of how we're all connected, and also just kind of makes you think about like how everyone, makes me think about it at least, how everyone has like their own life, like when you like, because we're all kind of like upset, like all in our own life, and like all the people that are around us that we actually like interact with. But it's just kind of like interesting, I feel like, to think about, you know, that random stranger who has another life of their own and who like goes through all of this. And I think it's just kind of like interesting and kind of makes you think of that. And I don't know, I like the other point of views. Some of them I liked more than others because I like their people, their character better more than others. Like Pack, just like, get out of here, Pack. You should just go. And I don't want to say die, but
oh yeah, same.
You can just leave and like never come back again. I don't want to see your face. I really don't like Peck or Andrea. I don't like her. Or is Victor Delilah's?
Yeah.
Okay. I just like randomly like thought of that. Okay, yeah. But I really like the point of views. I thought that they kind of like add more perspective to it. And, you know, we get to see, you know, how people take the news of of course we see like Mateo and Rufus, their main characters, but we also see like Delilah, who's like in denial. She's like, this ain't happening. This is just like a prank. I'm gonna live my day like it's a normal day. And then we also see that one guy who is really angry, and he ends up you know, bombing that one place doing like suicide. And you know, that's really tragedy. But you know, you get to see how other different people would react in this kind of situation, which I think, you know, adds a lot to this book and the world that is in this book. My criticisms, the world building. I'll let Alex answer, and then I'll talk about that.
So I mean, I read. Wait, is that going?
What?
You hear echoes? Okay,
no?
never mind. Sorry. Okay, so I mean, I read the book recently, so I kind of remember the specific people, but oh my god, like it was so amazing. Like at first, I didn't know that the point of views were gonna line up. Like people were gonna kind of meet, but they actually do. And there's specifically one that I want to talk about. Do you remember Howie?
Who's Howie?
The author?
The celebrity?
Yeah, the celebrity. Oh yeah, he's celebrity.
Yeah, I just like thought of it after, because that's, you know, interesting too. You know, like this isn't just like everybody. This happens to also like celebrities and famous people.
Yeah. Oh my god, like
people react to that and how they react to it.
Yeah, that was like so interesting. I'm like, damn, Adam Silvera, you're really thinking of everything. They even had people. I think there was one girl who, like, she in the beginning of a chapter, it was like, I don't know if it was per se like suicide, but she at the beginning of her chapter, it was like Deathcast did not call her, but she wanted to like prove them wrong, right? Is that?
Yeah, she thought about flipping off.
Yeah, so that was really interesting as well. Just everyone's perspectives, and I think in a society like this where you don't know if the person you see on the street, you don't know if they were called by Deathcast, like seeing their reactions, seeing like how people were saying like, oh, these two boys look like happy and like they're spending time. I don't know if they're like last friends or whatever. I think that reaction from other people in regards to our main characters, Mateo and Rufus, was so interesting. And oh my god, like just different perspectives in here were like genius. He picked like the perfect ones, basically. Yeah. He like crafted this entire society based like out of like thin air. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that was like my one criticism, is that I really just cannot. I know it's like our modern like world that it is right now, and there are like pop culture references to things that are like kind of and so I just like couldn't really get a grasp of like the world and like how Deathcast knows you're gonna die, which kind of like bugged me. I don't like this whole trusting that they're right thing. This is why I want to lead a rebellion against Deathcast. I guess because this is, you know, in books, whenever there's someone who's just like this all-knowing, like all-powerful thing, it's like we're gonna go take them down.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was my one.
Yeah, we're gonna go take them down, but and then
yeah, you're right.
You want to take them down, and they really kind of doesn't make too much sense of why you would even take them down.
Your reaction to the Deathcast makes me feel like you would be the type of person to like be like throw a tantrum if you got called. Like, I'm not accepting this.
I don't like destroy the whole place. I probably would. I'd just be like so upset.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, like that was the one thing also that I had a little bit trouble. Like everything else was fine. Like it took place in New York City, somewhere that I'm very, very familiar with, which is why like on the bus, even like going through the city, driving through the city, I was like, this sounds like super real. But yeah, the one thing that really irked me was that it was never explained like where this came from, which I thought wasn't like necessary, especially since the story wasn't focused on that. But I think it would have been awesome to kind of see his interpretation of like how this originated and how people know like when you're gonna die. Yeah, even if it was something.
That was my other thing, like, because it's like Deathcast, they kind of have an industry going here.
Oh yeah.
Things catered toward people knowing that they're gonna die. Yeah. So I'm like, maybe Deathcast is causing their own, like, this is how they know that they're gonna die. They like somehow are super powerful and just like make you die, like somehow.
It's a conspiracy.
Train you to like end up dying at the end of the day, or like they like cause an accident and you like end up dying and it's actually like their fault.
It's a freaking conspiracy.
Yes, people. I guess I'm like Delilah. I'm like in total denial. Grow up in this type of society, so we can't really say. And yeah, I don't know. It was just hard for me to like picture it exactly, and that's a little where I struggled. And also Mateo just annoyed me for most of the book. I'm sorry, kid, but
yeah. No, yeah, that was people in the society like grew up with it. They know that like, you know, like I think there was who is that? Like, what's her name? Penny, the daughter? Like she's gonna grow up. Yeah, Penny. She's gonna grow up knowing that her father died because of like, and she got notified by Deathcast. So she's gonna kind of have like growing up with that thing. Same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we go on to the next question? I think you're trying to ask.
Okay. Question 4. No. First question 5. What do you think of Mateo and Lidia's relationship? Do you think it was right for him to keep the call from Deathcast a secret? Oh, this is also a hard one. Okay. Yeah. I love Mateo's and Lidia's friendship. I think having someone like that, having someone so close to you, and even being scared, like because they're that close, you're even scared to tell them you're dying, is so real. Like everyone has that kind of person. And do you think it was right for him to keep the call? No, I do not think it was right. Okay, like as much as I was like as much as in the book I was like, oh my god, just imagine, like I didn't know in the end he was going to like reconvene with her and see her again before he died, but at the time I was thinking like, oh my god, like he might drop dead and she might like be like you know, like what could have happened if I was with him in that last moment. So yeah, I definitely do not agree with him what he did.
Yeah, I mean she does kind of like figure it out because he like kind of ran out on her. I really do love their relationship, and I feel like, you know, they're so supportive and understanding of each other, and there's like, you know, a sense of really like familiarity in the relationship, that like they've been friends for a really long time. They know how each other works and like how to, you know, when to push, when to not. And I also just like, you know, really love how supportive is of like Lidia, and how, you know, she had a child when she was really young. It was like in high school. Like, I think she dropped out of high school, I think. But he's just like, you know, like always there and supportive, and he wants to be that kind of figure. And I just really like their relationship and like the honesty in their relationship. Although, you know, him not telling her is definitely not honest. Yeah, and it just made me mad that he didn't tell her, because I feel like she deserves to know. I feel like, you know, everyone kind of deserves to know, because they deserve to have that chance. If you grow up in the world where you know that you're going to die, and to have that chance, you know, to say what you've always wanted to say. And I feel like, you know, she just like deserves to know. And I don't know, I feel like you don't, if you, like your friend is going to die and they don't tell you, I feel like you would worry more about it. And you'd be like, oh, it would be like regret. Like she would like have all these regrets. You're like making her live with all these regrets because you didn't want to tell her, because you were afraid of how she would like handle it, I guess. And it made me mad. Okay, me and Mateo have some issues.
Yeah, it was a little bit selfish on his end. I mean, he had good intentions. Like he was thinking about her. He was like, oh, she already has enough on her plate. And I don't want her to be like super sad or anything and like have to go through with watching him die. But still, I think it was selfish in the fact that like they had a lot of unfinished business. Like he called her, I think, right? He called and he was like talking about like, oh, in the future and everything. And her kind of having this idea like, okay, there's gonna be a future with him it was kind of like selfish on his part. So that was my only thing. Like that's like I was like, other than that, I really love Mateo, but.
This is funny. We always kind of end up liking like the other character. Like, you know, with All American Boys, how I liked.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember their names.
Same.
I like the one of them more than like, and you like the other one more. I think it's just interesting. Some of my stuff where I was yelling at Mateo because, you know, a lot of times.
Yeah, I was yelling. I know. I put Post-its.
Well, I was taking notes, like, and that, especially with that part. Yeah, I guess, you know, like, Mateo was saying, you know, like, he didn't tell her, but he regrets, like, not telling her, so I'm like, what? Just tell her if you regret it, you should tell her. That's like, why would you be regretting something? Yeah, why are you causing yourself some more pain?
I know, and what the funny thing was, the one part that I actually started crying at was not when Mateo died, but it was when Lidia found out that Mateo died because Rufus called her. I was just like, oh my god, this is so freaking sad. Like, her reaction is just, oh, it was so sad. Like, and yeah, we'll talk about the ending later. Like, that was a whole different story, but yeah. Okay. Next question. Question 6. Oh, question 6?
You got the next question? Yeah.
Oh, I think I can answer. Okay. How do you think visiting his mother's and his own grave impacts and will impact Mateo and maybe even Rufus? So we saw his reaction after Mateo visited his mother. It kind of gave him that, what do you call it? Like, I mean, how do you say this?
Closure?
Well, yeah, it gave him closure, and also kind of, I think it even made him face the fact that, yes, he was dying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when he saw the gravedigger.
Yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah, like, what the actual heck? Like, why? Imagine, oh my god, I couldn't deal with that. They were so strong. These characters were both so strong. Yeah, and what about you?
Okay. I was just gonna check my other questions. Sorry.
Nope, it's okay.
What was how does it change? I think, you know, it really like flips their perspectives. I think this is kind of why I wanted to ask that question, is that, oh sorry, you gotta look at me when I'm talking. It's like when Mateo goes to the grave and like afterwards he like up to this point he's just been like afraid of doing everything still. He's pretty much like, he might as well just have not left his house because he was just like afraid of doing things. And at this point, like, it's a turning point. Like, after this, he, you know, actually gets on the bike that he was afraid to get on. He was like, I'm not getting on your bike before. And he was like, I'm not getting on that subway car where there's a party going on. Like, things like that. And he you know, finally starts to live life the way he's wanted to. And just, you know, because I think, like, seeing his grave kind of gave him that closure of, like, he hasn't gone to visit his mom, I don't think, very often. So, you know, just kind of like that, some closure with that, and just kind of, you know, accepting that it's gonna happen. And do I really want to spend my day being afraid and being, you know, like who I've always been, when I was really more potential in me that I can be in, like, you know, actually going out and trying to like live his life the way he's always wanted to. I don't know, I feel like, you know, it did have an impact on Rufus at that point too. I don't like remember what, but I feel like there was a little change in Rufus as well. Does that kind of like spark anything?
Oh yeah, a big thing was when Rufus, when I think he had that moment of closure, and he even like kind of like not, what would you say? He kind of let go a little bit, like he was punching a rail. He kind of like blew up a little bit, which was good, you know, because and I think it's when they brought him to where, like near the river, near the not river, what the heck? Like near the bridge, like, and when he was getting closure with, like, you know, his parents, and how they all drowned and like he didn't. Yeah, I think for him, his case is kind of hard because, like, he literally, I don't know. I felt like for the most part, he was so strong. Like they were both really strong characters in that they kind of, like, for me, like I said, like I would just break down and start crying. They actually, you know, made themselves, you know, get up and do so. Even though Mateo, it took a little bit more time, I felt like they were really strong in terms of accepting it and kind of going out with like a bang. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like all my like complaints about Mateo, like I do get it, and I do understand where he's coming from, and who he represents in this book, and I think it is important that we have a character like that. And, you know, it's all part of his character arc. Like, you could not have Mateo without having this Mateo who's afraid to go out into the world and do stuff. I just, you know, as a reader, as a person who doesn't live in this world and who kind of does, I feel like I do, even if I did live in that world, I do have a bit of a different look on life and death. And I don't know. But I do, you know, I understand him and I get it. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't think of what I had to say about Rufus, but I do think it does kind of like change kind of Rufus. But I feel like, you know, also like in the timeline of this book, this is when stuff starts like happening.
Yeah.
Too. Okay. I realized I was like, I think I was supposed to ask that question, but it's fine.
Okay.
How would you spend your end day?
Oh, why do you have to ask all the freaking hard questions?
Because this book is hard. These aren't even the hard questions that my friend asked me. They were like worse. They were like impossible answers. I was like, okay, I don't know.
I'll ask equally hard questions of our next book. Okay, I got you.
Okay. I guess I would probably, you know, I would probably have my funeral. Maybe. I guess I don't know, I've only had like I haven't been to many funerals, and then the ones that I have been like in the Lao tradition, so I feel like it's not exactly the same as whatever tradition of a funeral they have. I probably want to see my family again and see my friends again, and, you know, generally like talk to people and, you know, say what I have left to say before it's like too late and I can't say anything else. Like, I'm like the most boring person ever. I don't do anything. I like write my book. And, I play music or something.
Oh my god, yeah, right. Finish your book in the what? In the how many
What?
Like, speed write your book in the next hours you have and publish it.
Oh my god, like write a really detailed outline so someone could finish the book for me.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I mean, I'd probably go to that one place where you can go, you know, around the world. Stuff. That would be fun. Because I do want to like go and see the world. So if I were to die, I'm gonna have the chance to see the world. I think that'd be, you know, great. It's like Epcot.
Oh yeah.
It's been a while since I've been to Epcot. So I guess I don't know really. I feel like it would be like Epcot, but I don't know what else I'd do. I'd just like the day like as I normally would. Yeah, I don't have too many gigantic aspirations in life that are reasonable.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't take a million years to do. So, you?
You know, I'm really happy to say, and I know a lot of people don't like get the chance to say this, but if I were to receive a call from Deathcast, I feel like I have lived up to everything I want to live up. Sure, I haven't done things like went to Hawaii and gone to college yet, but I have really, in the past, I guess, decade, you could say, since entering middle school and high school, have a straight path of where I want to go and have been doing a lot of things that I'm really proud of and just really appreciative of. So I feel like that is said as in, like, I'm not going to, like, go, like, finish my bucket list in the next day. But I think in that day, nothing means more to me than friends and family. So I would probably host an Instagram live show and then spend the rest of my day with my family, having a funeral too. And it would be a sad day, and sure, it wouldn't be as adventurous as Mateo's and Rufus's, but you can't beat that feeling of being with the people you love and dying in like happiness, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, you know, it is kind of a different situation with them because like they don't really have their family or too many friends that they can spend the day with. So yeah, I guess that's something that we do get to take for granted.
So yeah, I think that one day we would just spend it kind of like going around the table, saying last things, saying like, you know how like in weddings where people like your family members stand up and they say something like funny or like cool about you. Like, I'm kind of imagining something like that. Like, that would just be really just funny. It would be a nice way to, like, kind of accept it and, you know, realize all that you know. Oh, my God, I'm going to start, like, crying, man. This is not a fun topic. But yeah, that's what I would do. I honestly wouldn't be as adventurous as them. I wouldn't go out and like do everything that I said I wanted to do. So sadly.
Okay, is it your turn now?
Yes. Okay. Question 8. What did you like of the ending? Did you like it, or did you expect it?
What did you think of the ending? Whoops. Sorry for the typo.
Wait, what?
It's supposed to say, what did you think of the ending?
Oh, okay. What did I think of the ending? I first thought it was actually very incomplete at the end. I was like, no, where are the pages? Where are they? Because I was like, what the heck? This can't be all. First of all, we see how Mateo dies, but I was expecting, I knew both of them, they're gonna die. Like, come on, the title says they both die at the end. But I really wanted to know.
I mean, but technically they don't because Rufus
what?
hasn't died.
No, true. Yeah, that's also right, because he just like kind of like whipped me in the butt. Like, I thought they were both gonna die, but we only see how Mateo dies, and in the end we don't really get closure. Like, did Rufus get called by like a prank call? Like, was it real, or how does he die? That's like, that sounds really strange. Like, how does he die? But that's something that I wanted to know. And did I like it? Yeah, I loved it. Like, no, actually I hated it. It made me freaking cry. Okay, like that shit about Mateo, like him die, like. And especially how he died just in that moment, like.
Yeah.
Like, why?
I was kind of upset about that. I'm like, you're an idiot.
Wait, what happened? I don't understand.
Come on. He should have thought about it a little more, don't you think?
No, I don't understand what happened. I'm really confused.
Okay, so his stove was broken. And he asked his neighbor to come fix his stove, but then he went to go make tea on his broken stove, and it exploded.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I guess he wasn't in the moment. He wasn't thinking about it. But yeah, I think ultimately that led to his death. And that was just really sad for me to read, because it honestly came out of nowhere. Like, what the hell? He was just making freaking tea, okay? And it was, oh my God, I didn't like, but I thought Lydia's reaction was also really just heartbreaking. He called, and then she's like, Rufus? Like, no, this isn't Mateo. And it was so sad. So yeah, I like the ending, but I didn't like it. You understand?
Like, you didn't like that it was sad.
Yeah, I didn't like. I wish it went another way.
Yeah, I'm a lover of Happily Ever After too. So.
Yo, I legit thought they were gonna like defy death. Like, I was like, oh my God, is this a story about how like two people like defy like what the society is doing? I'm like,
secret is love.
It's not, but okay.
I don't know. I guess, I heard that it was a sad book, and then it makes people cry at the end. So I'm like, they're probably both gonna die at the end.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess that was the ending. But Mateo went and did something stupid again, and turned on his broken stove. And I'm like, avoided this if you stayed. Where's Rufus in the safety circle? What?
They had to die, though. It was probably the evil force that created Deathcast that was like, I'm gonna make him forget his broken stove and make him turn on.
That's what the Deathcast is like the actual cause of your death. They're like, oh, here's another theory. Like, my friend was like, oh, what if what if you're already dead?
Oh yeah, wait, no, I didn't understand that one.
Or if you're like living in a vacuum. If it's like, what is it, The Matrix? And you're like already dead, and they just kind of like control when you die.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't know. I guess. I was kind of bummed that they actually die at the end. And I think Rufus. I think what is implied is that Rufus gets hit by Victor's car.
What? The hell are you talking about?
Because like Victor was like speeding to get to Delilah Althea Park. And then Rufus was like, he's like crossing the street without looking anymore. Like, he's just kind of. I think it's like implied that is how he died. He got hit in the car with car.
Oh my God! Yeah, I see.
But I mean, it's not a for sure thing. He totally could have defied Deathcast.
Yeah. Well, we're not sure, but at the same time, like, even though you expect them to die at the end, by the time you're at the end of the book, it's like a complete contradiction, because like you do not want them to die at the end, and it's just like it changes what you think. It's not what you expect, basically.
So,
okay. Next
question. Did you like it? Did you expect it? I didn't know how he's gonna die. I wasn't even sure how he was gonna die.
Oh yeah, like probably
walking down the stairs and taking the elevator. So I guess that was kind of unexpected. And the stove thing, not expect that coming.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. Do you think that by the end of the book, Mateo and Rufus became the people they wish they could be? I think so, yeah. I think, Mateo went out and did things. Like he tried new things, and like getting on the bike. He actually got on Rufus's bike. And he punched Peck.
Yeah! Woo!
That idiot. Oh my gosh. We're gonna discuss that guy after this question. But I feel like he did, get to be that kind of person that he wanted to be. And with Rufus, I feel like the same. I guess what was it, like Rufus, he wanted to like be a better person.
Yeah.
Not be like the angry guy who beat up his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Who definitely deserved it.
Right.
Wait,
you think Peck deserved it?
I mean, at the end of this book, don't you think he deserved it?
Okay, that's a huge, yeah. We're going to talk
about a lot of problems if he didn't beat him up in the first place. But
let's talk about, finish the question. Let's talk about that later, okay?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, he became that person that Mateo ended up, falling in love with. And he became, that person who his friends really, cared about and loved with and really appreciated. And he, yeah, I feel like, and I think it wasn't one of his things that he wanted to help Mateo and be there for Mateo because he wanted to, be a good person.
Yeah.
And so I think he accomplished that goal too. What do you think?
Yeah, I think one of the big things also that I was just like, yes, was that Mateo, before he died, he actually came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he ever did. I don't remember it completely, but I think that was. I don't think he ever came out to anyone. Right? Was that? Oh yeah. So basically that was one of my, not my favorite parts, but just something that for me it made me feel satisfied. Even though he did die, he got to experience what it was like living in honesty and kind of experiencing love for the first time. That true honest love, not just. And he was even scared. He mentioned in the book, he didn't have to care what society thought anymore. But yeah, there was because there was another character who was, I think she was the one who wanted. Who was contemplating suicide, and she was, because she came out and she was, I think, bullied for it or made fun of it. That's one of the reasons why. And that perspective itself, you see someone who, because of coming out, she has had the bad effects of it, and she's been made fun of it, and that's why she wants to kind of take her life. And then you see Mateo, who hasn't come out yet, and then because of it it helps him. So yeah, it's just two different stories. I really liked it, and I think it just made his death a little less sad. I think if he honestly didn't come out and honestly didn't find himself through hanging out with Rufus, I would have been even sadder. I would have been are you kidding me? He died before he was able to live his true self and his life.
Yeah.
That would be terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Should we talk about how much I hate Peck?
Okay, wait. First, I just want to say, I do not think Peck should have deserved to be, what's it called? Punch. I mean, what is it called? Beat up by Rufus. Okay. Yeah. Of course, after the book, we want him to be beat up because he freaking wanted to kill him and he called the cops on his funeral. But in the beginning, when we first meet Peck, he is just a person who was dating Amy when Rufus broke up with her. So, and that Rufus was mostly jealous. So that is not Peck's fault, but.
But wasn't he about Peck that Rufus didn't wasn't there?
Wait, what? He was like what? He was doing something, but he was like really annoying, and he was doing stuff like to Rufus, like, but he did not deserve to be beat up though. Like, come on, no one deserves to be hit with violence. Okay, go ahead, Belinda.
I guess I don't like Peck at all.
Yeah.
At all. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, this kid is gonna die anyways. Like, is your revenge really like that necessary? He's gonna be dead at the end of the day. He's not gonna be your problem anymore. Just get over yourself already. So I don't like Peck. I also yelled at him a lot in my notes. And I'm glad Mateo punched him later on. That was great. That was a fantastic moment. Cause gosh dang, No Name. You know, they were like the reason why that celebrity guy died, wasn't it? Because they're like they created a traffic accident, and I was like, yeah. No.
Oh, holy! I didn't even connect that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Do you think he deserves it now?
No, I still do not think he deserved it. Belinda, what are you doing? Oh
I guess this is why I'm Slytherin. Because I want to have a rebellion against Deathcast.
I mean, that's totally, like, that's something I would do too. Like, I even want to rebel against my own school because their system is corrupt. Like, I'm not one to accept things the way they are. Like, sure, if it was like God whispered in my ear and told me that I was gonna die, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna die. But like, I know that, okay, whatever. But like, if a random freaking organization that is known to have like correct, like, you know, predictions of death called me, I would have been like, excuse me, where are you getting your information from? So yeah. That's
and the fact that they don't even give it out, they don't give out the information. Like, the people who work for them don't even know anything.
Oh yeah.
This is like all super shady. They need to go down.
Yeah, it's like, that's really sketch then. Okay. That's sketch.
Yeah.
And then in terms of characters, I have favorites. Who are your favorites?
Favorite what?
Belinda, you froze. Oh, favorite characters. Dude, you're like
Lydia and Rufus's friends.
Yes, Rufus's friends. What did you think about Amy?
She's an idiot.
Yeah.
She's annoying. Her fault. She brought Peck to their funeral.
Oh no, that was
like, dude, you know that Rufus beat up Peck. He probably doesn't want Peck coming to his funeral. What?
Oh yeah.
That
was so.
I mean, like, I get her, and I do think, you know, like, that friendship after a relationship is possible, and I get, you know, like, why Rufus, you know, really likes her and like really like wanted her like around, because they are, you know, really good friends, even though their relationship did not work out. But she gotta get rid of that guy. She just should leave Peck. I really don't like Peck.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
Well, one thing I just want to say about this book, like, this might not make any sense, but it's one thing that I really noticed is that I even recently been reading a lot of books. Wait, oh my god, what happened to your face? Did you turn off your camera? Oh no, sorry. Okay. The heck?
Oh, it's there.
Okay, sorry, I freaked out. So, I've been reading recently a lot of books that feature bisexual main characters, and in those books, I only really see, I don't know if this makes any sense at all, but, like, in a bisexual main character developing feelings for like one specific like gender, like for like female, and then having feelings for their female, but in this book, I think it was really interesting how we saw that, of course, Rufus had his ex-girlfriend, and then how he like developed feelings for Mateo, and it was just like, it was like really beautiful to see, also because like I you know, as a reader just reading, I'm very just like, you know, curious about like diverse groups and everything, so it was just something cool, something that I just wanted to point out. But yeah.
Oh, I just remembered, Mateo was the one that kissed Rufus first. Like,
no, yeah, he did a lot of things.
Romance and how it took forever. Like, slow burn. slow burn in one day.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was like, it was honestly, I love the hint of romance.
It's really sweet. I was like cheering. I put a heart sticker there.
I mean, yeah, the whole book doesn't like focus on romance, but that was honestly a really good touch. It happened at exactly like the perfect time. Like, damn, he thinks of everything. Like, I just want to like go into like Adam Silvera's brain and kind of like pick it apart, because like this is so interesting. Like, even before reading this book, the concept was really interesting, and I feel like nobody else could have pulled this story off except for him. Like, this is just perfectly done.
Yeah, I know. Yes. Oh, there was something else I was gonna say. Anything else you want to talk about with them, or?
Huh?
What? Okay. What? I was gonna say this is kind of like switching.
What?
I'm gonna switch their like conversation.
Okay.
To Delilah and how she like cheated death twice in that one day.
Wait, didn't she die?
What do you think of that? No, because like originally, like, remember she got hit by that explosion.
Oh yeah.
And she survived that accident with Howie, and she survived that.
Yeah, that was really sad, honestly, what happened with her.
I just thought it was like interesting that how like she does cheat death twice, and you're never gonna see if she gets real or if it really comes for her.
Yeah, I mean, that was like one of my, like, that was honestly so sad, because in the beginning I thought it was actually a prank. Like, I thought one of these people in this book would obviously experience that kind of thing, because we were meeting all different kinds of people. Like, you literally could not have gone wrong with someone being pranked, and I thought she was actually pranked, but then realizing that it was not a prank, and that like when her ex-fiance found out, it was like a sad moment.
Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else I want to say about this book.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say?
Yeah, I think we covered everything, but like just in general, I think this is a book. Oh my god, I just realized that there was like, what's it called? The guy with the stick?
Yeah.
Holy!
The Grim Reaper.
Yeah, the Grim Reaper. And yeah, just lastly, yeah, hell yes, this book took place in New York City, my freaking roots, and I was just like loving.
Did you like that?
What?
Like, you really like that?
Yeah, I loved it, and they were talking about like the subway, and I'm like, hell's yes, this is like what the subway is, man. Yeah, I loved it. It's always nice to see something when it's so relatable and so just like it takes place in where you live. So yeah. Final thoughts?
I liked it. I'm glad we read it. I think great book. I don't know what I hope to check out some of Adam's stuff some other time. Yeah. But
I mean, we should probably in any time if he does come out with a new publication, or if we find like a really good reason to use one of his books, we could probably choose another one of his books again for our like reads. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe like next year. I kind of want to. We'll talk about this later, but definitely like I do want to try out some of his other stuff. I actually didn't cry. I don't remember crying. I mean, I have like teary moments.
Yeah, teary moments. Moments where you're mad.
No, like emojis in my book. I have my little bobbing emojis. And a lot of angry emojis, because you know how angry I was. But I don't think I actually cried. I think I was a little mad. Because he shouldn't have turned on that dumb. And he knew it was broken. He shouldn't have left.
I've already accepted it. It's what it is.
Yeah, but I guess maybe I wanted something a bit more exciting. But at the same time, it's like it was more right to make it not.
Yeah, true.
I don't know.
Yeah, the concept of this is really sad, but I think he handles it really well. I think he put in just the right amount of stuff. It's like really incredible. Like usually I'm always baffled how authors are able to like think of this and put it in a way where it actually teaches you something and makes you think. And this is the kind of book that I thought was definitely perfect for a live show. So thanks, Belinda, again for suggesting another book.
I think you actually suggested it first. Okay, so I guess we'll wrap up now. Thank you for joining us on this discussion. I think we both had a really great time talking about this book. There's so much to talk about with this book. I feel like this is a book you could probably read again and, you know, kind of try to pick up some new things now that you've finished it. Yeah, and Alex, do you have any final thoughts?
I don't know. Like, this is the kind of book that, yeah, I mean, like I always say with our book chat, this is the kind of book that I want to share with my English class and read and discuss. Ew.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, yeah, thank you for joining us. I hope you join us next month. We're going to be reading Force of a Thousand Lanterns, the title that I always forget, by Julie. And this seems like it's a great read. Because Alex has already read it, so
you're gonna forget.
Yeah, and it's not her raving about it. So yeah, that should be a lot of fun. Check out our Instagram. We'll be posting our read along there, and I think this comes out on Tuesday. So
thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Alex, say bye.
Bye.
Bye.